Welcome to Callawegin Fly Fishing with Robert Smart. Now, here's Robert.
Greetings. Now, this video is going to be one of a series of 3 videos that I'm going to make. This one is how to make a fly fishing video. Now, the next one I'm going to make, should have it out in a week or so, will be how to make a fly tying video. And the last one will be on how to post-process your videos for shipping up to YouTube. I'm by no means an expert, and I'm sure some folks will disagree with what I'm recommending, but when I got into this, I didn't know what I was doing, made a lot of mistakes, did hundreds of hours of research on the internet and looked at dozens and dozens of fly fishing videos and fly tying videos. What my hope is that with what I learned, it might, if you're getting into this, it might save you a little bit of time. I think I've got it tied down pretty much of what I'm going to be using, and I think it makes pretty good quality videos. So here we go. The first of a series of 3, how to make a fly fishing video. Okay, this is a video on how to make a fly fishing video. I've got a cheat sheet here because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about and my memory's not what it once was. So the first thing I want to talk about is the camera that you use. And I looked at a lot of cameras when I got into this, and you can spend thousands of dollars, or you cannot spend quite enough. The first camera I got was like a $120 camera. Video, terrible. It just didn't look good at all. So I shelved that, and I finally settled on a GoPro 8. Relatively inexpensive. Let's see. They're going for about $270 now. Takes great pictures. It's got self-stabilization, so you don't get a lot of shaking with it. It has autofocus. You don't got to worry about focusing it. Now you can get the other GoPros, like a 9, 10, or 11. 11's their latest. You know, the 9 goes for about $300. The 11 goes for almost $500. But I settled on the 8 because it very reasonably priced, and it does an excellent job. They're also waterproof. You've seen some of these fishing videos where the guys have the fish underwater when they release them. That's their GoPro. They say it's good down to 30 feet deep. I don't use it that way. But, you know, if I get caught in a thunderstorm, I don't got to worry about my camera getting trashed. So it's a plus there. Another beauty about the GoPros is you can set them up where it reacts to voice commands. So you have the camera up here on your head, and you don't want to fumble around to start a video or turn it on or off. You just give it a voice command. You can say, GoPro turn on, GoPro turn off. My GoPro just turned on. GoPro turn off. You can tell it to start record or stop record. You can even tell it to take a photo. So that's real handy. It's all hands-free, and you can work with it in the field, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to touch the camera. Now, another thing it has is there's a GoPro app. It's called GoPro Quick that you can put on your phone, and it has a preview feature. So, especially if you have the camera mounted on your head, do you have it at the right angle to see the water or the fish you're holding or anything else? You can activate this app and look at what the camera sees right on the app. And then you can adjust things while looking at the app to get everything lined up right. So that's real handy feature of this camera. Okay, now in the field, through lots of practice and research, I now use filters over the lens. ND filter, which is kind of like sunglasses. It darkens, if it's a real bright day, it darkens things a little bit. But more importantly, I use a polarizing filter. This gets rid of the glare on the water, makes the sky look better. Now on the GoPro 8, it's this here, there's no way to mount the circular fillers on here. So you can buy this bracket that they make, 58 millimeter thread for filters, and it just clicks on. Then you can take your filters and find them here. Okay, this is the ND filter. It screws on. And then I can take my polarizing filter and screw that on. Now with polarizing filter, I'll take my preview, and it depends where the sun is. The sun needs to be at an angle, not straight on or straight off, but if you look at the sky and you rotate the filter, and when you see that sky turn deep blue and the reflections disappear, that's where you need to leave it. You might have to readjust it based on where you're fishing, but I only adjust it once or twice and it gets most of my videos okay. Now, on this GoPro 8, it's got these two wings that come down, and you can mount it on any number of brackets. All the brackets are the same. Just unscrew it. Slide it in, torque it down, and then your camera's mounted. Very easy. Okay, now you might notice lighting changed a little bit. I switched from using my phone to the GoPro to make this video. I'd rather use the GoPro. Next thing I want to talk about is the camera settings in the field. I've messed with these tons of times, and I've settled on one group of settings. As a minimum, I set it at 1080p, that's high def. Often I use 1440, a little better, and 60 frames per second. That seems to work best out in the field, open air. And I also keep it set at widescreen as opposed to linear, which are your options on your GoPro. You know, the camera will do 2.7K or 4K video. I don't use them. It makes enormous files. It sucks up battery life, and my computer's an older computer, and you can't hardly edit them at that high resolution. Real jumpy, very difficult. And another thing is, you want to use at least 1080p or 1440, because when you upload your video to YouTube, if you have 720 or you know, their standard, they use a worse compression feature. If you get up to the high def or greater, they use different compression, which makes the video look a lot better. I mean, you make your video even at 720, and it looks great on your computer, and then when you look at it on YouTube, it looks like crap. So you need to film at the higher resolutions, 1080 or 1440. If you got the equipment, go to 2.7 or 4K. It's going to make a big file to upload to YouTube though, and it's going to take forever. Okay, let's talk about the mounts. Now, I always use a head mount. It's got this head harness. Goes on like that, and then my camera's attached here, and tilt it to get the right angle. It's not uncomfortable to wear. It holds everything in place. I've watched a lot of videos, and some guys, a lot of them use a chest mount, and lately I've heard about people using a shoulder mount. Now, what I've found is the trouble with the chest mount, you're fishing and you're messing with your reel. Sometimes your hands are right in front of the camera and you can't see the fish you're working. The shoulder mount would avoid that, but I wear a backpack with all my fishing gear in it. And when I change leaders or something, I take the backpack off. Well, that shoulder mount's in the way. I'm going to knock the camera all askew if I have it on my shoulder. So I stick with the head mount, and that's about all I use. Now, on a rare occasion, if I want to take a remote shot, like of me, which you don't really want to see, I don't take a tripod, but I've got this clamp mount. And I can put the camera on here and hook this to a tree limb, and that serves as my tripod. So in the rare case when I do that, I use this. It's small, easy to put in my backpack. Okay. Okay, the next thing I use on a rare occasion is sometimes I'll show driving into where I'm fishing. Maybe I want you to see the sign, like, you know, Little Dixie Lake or something like that. So I've got a mount that I put on my truck dash. Mount the camera on that, and I want to jump over to my outside video, and I'll show you the dash mount in my truck. Okay, I'm going to show you my dash mount. If you want to take a on the road type video. There it is. I just hook the camera right to it, turn it on, and drive. Does a pretty good job. Okay. Next I want to talk about the batteries. When I first started this, I had 2 batteries. Never had enough batteries to get me through a day. And then I went to 4, still not enough. Didn't have an exit talk because it ran out of batteries. So I settled on, I take 6 GoPro batteries with me. And that seems to be enough to get me through 8-hour day fishing. Now, as I use my batteries, I keep them all in this case. And the way I know which ones need charging is if the battery's charged, I leave the battery case with the C on it. If it's a battery that needs charges, I just flip it over. So any batteries in this little case that don't have the C on top, they need recharging. So that's my cheap method of knowing which batteries I need to charge. Okay. Now you're going to need battery charger. You can charge your battery by plugging your phone in or your GoPro into your computer. It takes forever. It's not convenient. So I got 2 chargers. This one I use at home. I plug it into an outlet, and it charges them pretty quick. Maybe an hour and a half, something like that. It'll charge 2 batteries at once. Now when I'm on the road, I use this charger. I can get it open. It can charge 3 batteries. I got USB ports in my truck. I just plug this in and I can charge them while I'm driving. Okay. Now, one battery is going to last you about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Depends on your resolution and how long you keep it on. When you buy the batteries, I recommend, and I'm not plugging GoPro, okay? I'm not monetized, right? I don't get any money. But if you buy off-brand equivalent battery, they seldom last as long as the GoPro brand batteries. So you pay a little bit more for them. They're not real expensive, like 15 bucks, or maybe a little more, depends where you get them. But I recommend you go with GoPro's original batteries. Okay. Now, a couple things. When you're actually out in the field taking your videos, I've watched hundreds of fly fishing videos. Everybody's got their own approach. You want to keep your camera running while you're fishing, because sure as shooting, you turn it off, you're going to catch a fish right then and not get him on tape. So keep the camera running. Don't wait for your battery to die, because sure as shooting, you're fishing, boom, your battery dies, and then you catch a fish. It's happened to me, and you miss the catch. So when you think you've been going maybe 40, 45 minutes, check your camera, see what your battery life is, and if it's getting real low, 20%, 10%, switch it out. Now, this is my personal preference, and people will argue with me on this, but I've seen a lot of comments on some of the guys that I watch a lot, and everybody's appreciative if they don't play music in the background. I don't care for music in the background while I'm watching a fishing video, and a lot of people don't. Some probably do, but that's just my personal preference, so I don't play music in the background on my videos. And finally, I like to give an entry talk, usually sitting here in this chair telling you what I'm going to do, what I'm fishing for, what I'm using, that kind of thing. And after the main video, I like to give an exit talk. If I remember, I'll do it riverside. It looks a little better. If I forget, which I do sometimes, I'll sit in this chair and give my exit talk, tell you how the trip went. So that's basically what I've learned on making fly fishing videos. My next video is going to be on how to make fly tying videos. And then I'm going to have a third video on how to post-process them with your editor on your computer. So I hope you might have learned something. I hope I saved you some time and research. I'm definitely not an expert, but I spent a lot of hours looking into this and trial and error. So I hope it helps you, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe.